Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to TRG Central. Today we'll be running the February prep races covering week 6 to 9 of the 2023 Road to the Triple Crown Series. Okay, first thing on the agenda is looking at the Kentucky Derby qualifiers top 20. Now, some of you may have not noticed, normally the game boosts up and the leaders, the qualifiers list there is normally the top 10. So I'm going to quickly show you how to switch that so you can get more horses to view in the top 10 or 20 or whatever. So first off, we'll move uh, the TRG folder over in the view, and you'll see we have a parameters file, and we also have a parameter options listing file now. And that file just covers all the options that are available within the game and a description about it. So we open that up and we just go down a little ways and you'll see there's option 7 and option 8. Option 7 is the top horses list, and as you can see by the description, allows you to decide how many horses are displayed in the top 10 list. The range is 10 to 20, so the default is 10. That's why you would normally see 10 if you have not changed this option. And also there's a second option for top horses to export. And if you go back over to the main screen, you'll see there's an export button. That export button will export the top 10 lists to the game logs folder. Let's go back here. So, if you want to have 20 horses show up here in the qualifier list, you would change this option where it has the X to 20, and same thing with the export, only export allows more, and you can see the default there is 25. So let's go ahead and display the parameters. We'll go back over to the TRG folder and we'll click on the parameters file. And you can see how I have changed it to 20, so that's why you have the top 20. And then you see the export is 20. And let's go with 25. The reason being that there happens to be a tie for the 20th slot for the Kentucky Derby race. We'll be able to see who the other horses are that could possibly tie, and we'll have to decide on some tiebreaker. So once you make a change, you just go ahead and save it. Now, just a couple things about this in case nobody, some of you have not used it. There should never be a blank line in between any of the options. You don't have to necessarily have all the options listed. You just have to have them with no spaces between each of the options. And then you go down to the bottom, you always have to have this 999 EOF. That tells the game that you're done with all the options and you don't have to read in anymore. So just make sure when you modify the parameters that the options all go before this, make sure the format is exactly the way that the list tells you are in the parameter options. And then make sure you change your parameter. Make sure there's no spaces between each of the options, and then save it. And once it's saved, so yeah, the new options will be available to the game. Okay, so let's see here. The next thing you need to do is we'll take a quick look over the schedule. As you remember last week, we added a couple allowance races to get some of our horses that are in the set a chance to run. We're going to do the same thing again today. We're going to add 2 races, one to week 7 and one to week 9. 7 is going to be called a listed race. That's the race type for that. And then the week 9 will do a black type race. So you can see how those are generated for the game too. Alright, so in order to get these 2 races on the schedule, we need a list of horses that are have not run the race yet. So we'll go and go to roster stats, you have the horses, and then we do the horse schedule. And there's our horses. As you remember from last week, we showed you how you can tell what horses that entered what races. And you can see down here, this one, Carriel has not entered any races. Well, of course, it's going to be a little tough to go through every single horse to take a look at to find them one's not. So we have the option down here for horse with no scheduled races. So we click that on, and then we just regenerate the schedule again. And there we go. So we can either write these all down, or we can go up to the to this option over here. We'll just export the list like we did last week. We'll export it to a text file. We go to game logs. Maybe we can find them. The one that we did last week. Yeah, there we go. So we'll just click that as the name and we'll just update it. Okay, so we have the file name, we know what we're going to export, and we'll just go ahead and export. And there it goes, it should be done, and it should match now the new list. Okay, so we'll put this off to the side and we'll use it in a few minutes. Okay, let's take a quick look at the qualifiers in the top 20. You see we have our 5 winners from the January races, and that's how many points they picked up with the wins. And then we have our second place. There's one horse, and there was actually a couple horses now that's running in 2 races. Then you had him in first, second, or third, but he still managed to get 6 points. Probably because if you remember, you get points for first, second, third, and fourth. There you go, and you can see that we have 44 horses that have run in at least one race so far in this series. Okay, so I think it's time to, we'll take a look at the schedule so we know how we're going to create the 2 extra races. Now you see, here we are in week 6, 8 entries for the Holy Bull. Robert Lewis has just 4. There's your Kentucky Derby points. And like I mentioned, there's how many points you get for 4th place. I have 2. Let's go to week 7 take a look and see what's there. And then you can see there's 4 races. Maybe it might be better to put the first new race in week 6 because there's less races. Well, let's go on and see what's in week 8. And you can see this is one of the first Philly prep races for the Kentucky Oaks, the Rachel Alexandria Stakes. And you can see that the Rising Star has more than 10 horses in it, so we'll have to set up the finals race after we run the 2 prep races. And then we go to week 9, which is the last weekend in February, and we have just the Rebel Stakes race, so that's probably a good time to add the black type. So we'll add the listed race week 6 and the black type race in week 9. X out of this, we go over to create a race, and let's see what we can do here. Name this one Garage Thanks. Okay, select the track. Let's run this one over at 10 along. And just pick one. And we'll go with, let's be a longer race. Let's go 8.5 for long. We'll set the condition to fast for now. We handicap, everybody's going to carry 120. 3-year-olds open. And let's take a look at January and February. So let's go with 4 and February 4th for this race. Okay, we're going to do a competitive level listed. And we're going to make this 40,000. Anybody is keeping track of a table, you can add that. And for the Katie trade, there'll be no victory points since this is not part of the normal prep race series. And I think we'll go ahead and save that. Now we'll go ahead and let's see, we move these around a little bit. And we'll get these horses, the horse list, available here so we can take a look at it. And we'll add about 6 horses to this. We'll add a couple fillies. Let's go with wet paint. And we'll pick up their original jockeys, which you can see that's the main jockey for wet paint, unless there's duplicates. Let's go with camouflage. You see I'm just picking these, it doesn't really matter. We just want to get them in a race for the series. Okay, next one, let's do crypto ride. And it doesn't matter what post position we put in right now because we'll randomly select the post positions later. Yep. So far, no duplicate jockeys, so I'll keep those. Like Prove, let's do that one. And you can see the ratings, although what paint is pretty high, was probably very likely to win this race. Well, you can see how the ratings affect the races too. And that's 4. Let's go with a couple more. Let's see, note down. 68. Let's do Paul. Yeah, 84. As we have mentioned, the way everybody's carrying a 120. All the jockeys are different for each of the horses, so we'll get there with no dupes. So I guess we're ready to say enough. Well, they kind of what paint should be a pretty good and interesting race between the two of them. And then see it'd be an interesting race for third place, which is also in the money. So interesting wagering would be on the 4 horses here to see if any of them finish in the money. Of course, one of them will. So we'll go ahead and save that field. And we'll go back and create that other race, and then we'll put the 2 races on the race card. So next one up is, let's see, what will we call that? This will be the black type one, so let's call it the Black Moon Special. We'll run this one to Thistle down. Remember, Thistle is located in Ohio. So we'll run this at a mile since the other one's a mile. Flush condition. It's in Ohio. We're going to make it floppy. Here we'll have the weight handicap. And this will give the fillies a minor advantage as they'll carry less weight. The 3-year-old open. We're going to go with the last weight, which would be the 23rd. Okay. Competition level, we'll go down and select the black type. And normally listed horses are a little less than black type, so since we went 40,000 for the listed, we're going to go 60,000 with this, which is probably one of the bigger races that Thistle would run early in the season. Again, there will be no victory points. And we'll save that one. Okay, so let's see here. Punishment, the right, gun flash, that we use, one camera we use, and there might have been one more, that was wet paint. Okay, so let's go ahead and select 6 horses from this group. Let's go with General Jim. Flying Connection. pinning horse. Leave no trace. Lots of fun temps. And we need one more. Or the Tomo. Have this one a little heavy on the Philly side. Okay, as I mentioned before, this is the carrying weight that the horses that we carry. So for the male, we add so 120. Fine payments will be left on 17. Male, female, female. Okay, so let's save this field. Like that. Then we'll go back over to the schedule, do create schedule, pick out the triple crown, and now we're going to add race to week 6, which is Gary's Stakes. Update. Clear, so we can do week 9. And we'll add the Black Moon Special. Update. And that should be it. So we go back to 6, we should see the extra one. We go back to 9, we see that one. So we're all good. So now it looks like we're ready to go ahead and run the races. Go over to schedule, run the race, click on our schedule we want to run. We're at week 6. Let's go ahead and do a lock on these two. But this one here, we're going to have to do post positions. So we'll randomize the post positions. There we go. Yes, we want to randomize them. There's the position. You see our favorite, that will be out on the outside at 6. Hanukkah, the other one that has a pretty good rating, will be in post position 3. Okay, so we'll lock that one, and then we'll take a look at these 3 races. So go with that one. Holy Bull. There's your field for the Holy Bull. Again, there's a couple of trainers that have 2 horses running in this race. Take a look at the Robert B. Lewis. And you see that field was just 4. And that is very interesting, is Bob Baffert. He has all 4 horses, so I guess he'll probably he'll have a horse winning the race. That's a guarantee. We have everything locked. We changed the post position for our extra race. See, it's listed. You see how this is race 3 is race 3. So That's how you can tell what type of race grade the race is. And you see this race is going to get garner no Kentucky Derby points. Again, Holy Bull and Robert B. Lewis will be picking up 20 for the winner, 8 for second, 4 for third, and 2 for fourth. You see the purses are pretty similar, 250,000 in Holy Bull, and Robert B. Lewis, 200,000. Both races are being run at a mile and a 16, the same as the Gary Stakes. It'll be running the same thing. Okay, well, I guess we're all set to actually run some races. Okay, there's your field for the Holy Bull Stakes. This will be run at Hialeah. And there's your morning odds, and as you noticed before, that a lot of these races are not well balanced because this is the beginning of the 3-year-old season. And these are horses that may have only run a few times so far in their career. So not sure how they will all stack up against each other. And as you can see here, it looks like Lord Miles is in position, post position 1. There's probably the odds-on favorite and may go wire to wire. And you even have one of the better jockeys in the set riding Lord Miles and Ira Ortiz Jr. So, I think that looks fine. Let's get to the trot. So we have Hialeah, there's the field down there. We have Lord Miles, West Coast Cowboy, Shadow Dragon, Cyclo Mitchell, Mr. Bob, Legacy Owl. I think that's IL, or definitely not II. And the Solo and Rocket Can. Lord Miles will be out. Well, the Lord Miles is even going to be out of the gate first. Remember, we have an option turned on that allows the stagger who gets out of the gate first based on their initiative out of the gate. So let's go ahead and put the speed regulator down. We may make a little minor change in the regulator after this race. I got to put that on my things to do list before we start. Spectator mode was running a little fast last for in episode 1. We'll go ahead and start the race. So the tower gives the okay, and we're off. Oh, and that's interesting. Although Lord Miles did win, as you see, a couple horses did catch up to a minute race, but then at the end, he took the race under control and won. Oh, see, Lord Miles wins the race, Cyclo Mitchell second, Legacy Owl third, and Rocket Can fourth. Those are the 4 horses that picked up Kentucky Derby points for their performance. And I think that'll end it for this race. Let's go to race 2 of this week. And that'll be the Robert B. Lewis. Remember, it just has the 4 horses in it, all trained by Bob Baffert. And then you can see 2 of the horses have the same stable, SF Racing. Let's go ahead and get race 2 started. And wow, this is probably going to be one of the closest races we've had all season so far in the prep races. not really a clear favorite, although Newgate has the best morning line. It's still very close considering that there's not even a 10 to 1 points in the race. Okay, let's run on the fast track here at Santa Anita. So let's go to Santa Anita and take a quick look. We have Arabian Lion 1, Newgate 2, Worcester 3, and Hard to Figure 4. Oh, and I should have changed it. Oh well, we'll pick it up next time. And looks like we're all set for spectator mode. And we'll start the race. So a shower gives the okay. And they're off. And since there's only 4 horses in the race, the race can be run very fast. And it looks like we have a winner. There is a still an inquiry, and there looks like we may have a photo finish. But let's go on to the race results screen and see what happened. Whoa, big record broke there. And Hard to Figure was DQ'd. He didn't do much of anything anyway, since he was last. You can come down here, see why. There's your photo finish. Records. There's this dude with inquiry. Hard to Figure disqualified, moved back 1 place. It didn't look like he needed to get moved back once anyway, but he was in last place anyway. So there's your finish. And Hard to Figure, since there was only 4 in the race, he picked up 2 points for just showing up. So let's X out of this. And we'll go on to the last race of this, week 6. And of course, that's our little listed race that we created. So I have to run that race. Well, no. This time I'll remember. We're going to go over to event options. And this little multiplier thing here for the speed regulator, that allows us to slow down a little more. So we're going to make that 10. And since it's defaulting at 60, which we're always changing to 3 or more less, let's go with 10 for both and see how that affects the speed of our races. Save it. Go back to the schedule and go ahead and run that last race in week 6. Yeah, I think Eric Stakes 3-year-old, 8.5 furlongs, what's there? No Kentucky Derby points. And we're running this thing Kettling. Okay, as you see, maybe this race should not have been 8.5, but maybe 9 or even 10, just to get a little bit of straightaway before you hit the turn. See, as you see here, Crypto Riders in reality first. Let's go ahead with the field. Point Gibbon, second, Notan, third, Ponticello, Cryptic Rod, Gunflash, and Wet Paint. Again, Wet Paint is the favorite. He's got one of the better races in the set. Mainly, probably the reason why he wasn't in any prep races. And click on its card, it is a filly, and since we did not do a whole lot of filly prep races, that's one reason why she was not on any, not in any of the races on the schedule. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at this. You have to fill up with 10. Let's see if this is too, see if it slows this down too much. And those tower announcements where the horses are all set in the starting gate. And there we go. Now there's a bit slower. Makes it a little easier. I can even call the race. On the telephone, way out in front looks like he's the winner wet paid, even though the better horse in the race ended up second. There you have it. On Pinnacle, first wet paint, second Gunflash, third. Now since wet paint is pretty highly rated, we'll probably have her in a few more of the non-Kentucky Derby point races, just to show her off a little bit. So that's it from Chenalin for week 6. Now we'll move over to week 7. There's 4 races. Remember this Sam F. Davis has 2 heat division races before we decide who's going to be in the final. Of course, as we have done last episode, we'll take the top 10 horses from the 2 heat races and put them into the Sam F. Davis race. So, all the races have their fields, so we'll just lock them. There's no editing to be done, other than the final Sam F. Davis. That one there we won't lock because we have to add the field. I'll let you through the field. Here in the winner, 250,000, grade 3, 20 points to the winner. And here you have the field. It will be 7-horse race. Like this one here has different trainers for every horse. Okay, next up is the Division 1 of the Sam F. Davis. And there'll be 6 horses there. Worthington Classic, Legacy, Groveland, Now, Dream of the Kona, and that is Phoenix. Yeah, that's probably the word there, right. And the second one, the first one has 6, this one has 5, so it'll be the horse with the worst time will be out. All the rest will move on to the finals of the Sam F. Davis Stakes. We viewed all the races, so let's go ahead and get the races started. I think the races ran real good with the right settings, so we're going to leave them alone. We run week 7 races. Okay, there's your odds. It's not too bad. We don't have any extreme odds, but we do have an extreme favorite though. Okay, I guess that's about it there. We'll go ahead and, okay, I guess I'll tell you a little about it. 9 furlong race, first 250, we're going astronaut, and it's on a fast trot. So here we are, astronaut. You see there's not much straight away here before it gets into the first turn. Can be interesting. And here's your field. We'll go over it real quick. Are They Arrogance? Second, Prove It Right. Third, Jungfrau. hit show, that's your favorite. General Banker, 90% Maddie, and that's a good one. And the Amola Firearms. Yeah, like I said, I'm actually really good at pronouncing horse name. Alright, let's go up to spectator mode. Take a take a look at the Stewart's Tower. They're announcing it. We're all set to go. Oh, I guess we're off. And there you go. At the first turn, there's Jug. Right now, Arctic Arrogance is in the lead. Now, he's hit show. The favorite has finally come around and looks like he has won the race. It's kind of interesting. You see, his show wasn't a wire to wire, even though he had the better odds, but he did come through in the finish during the home stretch run. Okay, hit show first, Shucket second, Proven Right third, Arctic Arrogance fourth. Those are the four Kentucky Derby point winners, with hit show picking up 20. We'll move on to the next race. That'll be the Division 1 race and the Sam Davis. Remember, we run both of those, then we'll take all but one horse and put them into the finals. And as you know, these division races or heat races do not give out Kentucky Derby points and have a very small part. So the main event is the Sam F. Davis race where you pick up 20. You saw the winners, it did pick up 20 victory points for the winner there. Okay, let's go ahead and run the first heat race of the Sam F. Davis. It's 8.5 furlong. This is actually a grade 2. I think one of the first grade 2 races of the early season. Take a look at the odds, and this one looks like an extremely competitive race. They're very, very good as far as the odds. Excellent race to wager on to see how well you're good. Again, it's the fast track at Hialeah, so let's go to Hialeah for the race. Walk through the field, Worthington and Classic Legacy, Groveland, Simply and Old, Dreamin' of Kona, and Zydek You. Thank you? Oh well, always a couple. Take a quick look at the regulators, still all set up correctly. Go over to the Stewart's Tower and see if they're all ready. It announces the horses are all in the starting gate, so we're good to go. And they're off. And the leader now is Classic Legacy. It looks like Classic Legacy came back. That was very interesting. Hialeah track record. If there is the Classic Legacy for Zydek You at second, Groveland third, Worthington fourth, Classic Legacy 2, 4, 6. Let's see, we'll see if Dupler Hill will be able to move on or not. It's at 146. I think we'll jot that down. 146.4. Okay, so that's the time to beat in the second race. Let's go ahead and get the second race started. Same thing, mile 8.5 furlongs. Here with another very close race with a couple 20s. Boston Car Watches, no, Litigate the favorite out in lane 5. It was so I had to move over to Hialeah and get the field. Prairie Hawk, Classic Car Wash, Champion Dream, and Litigate. Again, Litigate is the favorite. You know, there's not much chance to get into the turn. Not much straight there, like none. Okay, take a quick look at the regular, looks fine. In spectator mode, and we'll go ahead and start the race. Silver Tower is giving the okay, and they're off. Leader right now is Laverne, Champion Scream, taking over, Laverne back, now it's Prairie Hawk, Laverne back, Prairie Hawk, Champion Dream, and Litigate. And there's also a jockey inquiry, so besides the photo finish, we may have an issue with a jockey. Now let's see what we have. Looks like Litigate is disqualified. Whoa, that's a big upset there. And we'll see what happened here. The jockey inquiry Litigate place lost. Not too bad. And it looks like Litigate would have been the winner. Well, that gives us a little perplexing thing. Do we let Litigate go on to the final and drop the horse in the first race, or what? Interesting. Well, any of you viewers may want to chime in on how that should be handled. I think right now, since that was a jockey issue, we're going to let Litigate continue on, and you see the worst time in this race for 143, which is much better than 146. So that means all the horses in this race will move on. We go back to the first, and Dylan now is out. Everybody else is in. So, let's go ahead. We're going to have to add the field. Let me get something set up here so I can add the field relatively quickly. Okay. What do I do with Boston? Okay, I think we're gonna do this. Next now, let's go to view reports. Do the result chart. Go to Sam activism. Write it down real quick here. go into the other race. Psychological Legacy has the best time. And dreaming. One of these days I may update the program to automatically pull the top horses from qualifying races or heat races or division races to the finals. One of these days I'll think about how to do that, tie those two races together in order to fill in the finals automatically. Okay, so that's all now. Let's go back to the schedule. And we're going to add the field. So we're going to put these in order by time. Okay, so we have Classic Legacy, Litigate, and next one is the here. Yeah, hold on a second here. I want to check out something. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. And take a look at the regular chart for Stand-Up Davis. There we go. Okay, let's do this again. Post position was Worthington. I'm going to do the real life post positions and just skip the one that didn't make it. Post position 2 is Prairie Hawk. Sorry for the little delay. Whoops. Hey, Worthington, Prairie Hawk. Third with Classic Legacy in real life. We'll slot third. Slotting fourth is Lever. Fourth, fifth is Groveland. Posting the sixth is Classic Car Wash. Seven is the one that did not qualify for the cut. That was Jubilee no, so we'll skip that one, go to the next course. With the Champion's Dream. getting a call. And then litigate. And the horse. Okay. Now these were the post positions in the original real life race, minus the one horse that did not qualify. We'll now check the jockeys to make sure everybody has the jockey that rode the horse in the race, and then we'll check the weights to make sure they're all correct. So Warrington had more. Actually have Pablo Morales. Prairie Hawk had Sammy Camacho. That's correct. Classic Legacy had Junior Alvarado. Yes, that's correct. Lover had Jose Morales. Whoops. Morales is for Lavador. Then Groveland had Daniel Centra. That's correct. Classic Car Wash had Miguel. That's correct. Champion Scream had Tyler. Lini. Dreaming Kona had Josh Smith. That's right. Litigate had Luis Diaz. And Steve had Daniel Arm. Okay. Warrington carried 122. Prairie Hawk carried 120. Classic Legacy carried 120. Lavar carried 120. Groveland carried 120. Classic Car Wash 120. Champion Dream carried 122. Dreaming Kona 122. Hit 120. And Z 120. Okay, so that's it. That's the lineup that was running the excuse me, famous stakes race in real life, minus the one horse that did not qualify in our two division races. So let's go ahead and save them. Looks like everything saved fine. Let's go ahead over here. We'll watch the race, view the field. Here we have Worthington Post 1, Prairie Hawk, Classic Legacy. Everything looks fine. We have Todd Fletcher, also one of the famous trainers with one. William Moat also has one. Very nice rounded. Oh, looks like we're ready to go ahead and run the race. And here you go, and then for 10 horses in the race, actually it could be a pretty competitive race. Let's see, Litigate, of course, is the favorite. He won one of the heat races, but was disqualified. We'll see if he manages to win that. We have a couple of others that are also favorites in Morning Line. Classic Car Wash and the Z. Okay, it's on the fast track at Hialeah. So we'll go back out to Hialeah take a look at this. And look good. And we'll start the race. Well, let's go ahead. Yeah, before we start the race, go through the field. Worthington, Prairie Hawk, Classic Legacy, Laverne, Groveland, Classic Car Wash, Champion Dream, Dream of the Conan, and Litigate finally Z. We're gonna do one more thing. Just slow this down a little bit, but see if this slows it down even more. But this could be a very good race. And we're checking the Stewart Tower. They say everybody is, all the horses are in the gate, and we're set to go. And they're off. And we have Champion Dream getting the out to early lead. We're in the back stretch. It's still Champion Dream and Prairie Hawk. And Prairie Hawk is just taking the lead over Champion's Dream. Everybody else is right behind. Champion's Dream falls off dramatically. Worthington in second. Oh, and it looks like Litigate might have passed Worthington at the finish to come in second. So it looks like it's Prairie Hawk, Litigate, and Worthington. And that's the way it ends up. Prairie Hawk, Litigate second, Worthington third, Classic Legacy fourth. All pick up victory points for the Kentucky Derby, with Prairie Hawk picking up 20. Okay, so that's it from Hialeah. We'll move on to week 8. And there's, let's see, Rachel Alexandria, which I have mentioned, it's the first Phillies prep race. Rising Star have 2 division races in the finals, so we'll end up having to do the same thing with Risen Star. Have to go through that race. The original Risen Star had 14 entrants, so quite a few horses are on the chopping block this time to make the cut. So we are running out a little bit of time. It's been an hour, so we're gonna go there and cut off our episode 2 at this time, and we'll have an episode 2A to do weeks 8 and 9. So this is Gary from TRG Central signing off, and we'll be right back on the air to finish up the February races.